Good morning, everybody. This is Mike at Fouts Fabs, and today I wanted to do a little video on little mistakes, why they are so frustrating, and why they are so hard on a company. We're going to start with this, for example. I hired a guy. He had asked me multiple times for a job. I knew that he has some demons he was battling, but sometimes I let my heart make decisions for me, and it makes bad decisions. So I trained him for 3 weeks, and then he comes up and says he's found a job, making $4 more an hour or whatever. So he's no longer here. But he just left yesterday, actually, and I was training him on the saw. This is one of the first things that he had cut by himself. So let's look. The measurements for this is 26.5 by 5 5/16. I polished this and the other piece last night. Gary had asked me about it if it was ready this morning because the customer called. So I said yes, but I was like, I want to go ahead and double check everything. So I started double checking the measurements, which I wish I'd have done it last night before I polished it. But it was like 6 o'clock and I was just trying to get it knocked out before I went home. But if you look here, 5 and a heavy 16th, 5 and an 1/8. So that's a little shy of 5 and 5/16. The customer's not going to be happy with that. That's not what he paid for. And that's not the type of work we put out of here. So let's walk out here and I'm going to show you why it's so time consuming. Also, I was going through trying to answer some comments the other day. And I seen somebody commented on there that my accent makes me sound like a complete idiot. It upset me and I wanted to just say all kinds of mean stuff on there, but I realized it's probably a little kid in his mama's basement or whatever. But I'm from the border of West Virginia and Kentucky. I grew up on Tug River. I graduated from Mate One High School, which is in West Virginia, in '96. That's where my accent comes from. I have an associate's degree. I've got a 3.8 college GPA. So I'm not a complete idiot. But being from West Virginia and Kentucky, the border of it, along with my accent, makes me the type of person that will welcome you to come up here and talk to me about it face-to-face at any time. I'm not hard to find. 4276 Helena Street, Sawmills, North Carolina. You're always welcome. So, people look at it and be like, well, just bring it in there and recut it. Well, we got an install to go to this morning. Me and Sammy fabricate and install. So, Tuesdays and Thursdays we're in here fabricating. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays we install. So I come in here, today's Friday morning, we're getting ready to go on the install. Forklift won't start, so we got the forklift guys out there working on it. Find out the top's bad, so I come in here and look at the saw to see if I can put the remnant on it to cut a new piece. Well, I've got a slab of Fantasy Brown on my saw table, okay? So in order to bring that remnant in here to cut it, I've got to, well, I put these back in because I was thinking about doing that, and I took the templates off. But then I was like, hell, we'll just lift it by hand. But in order to put it on here, I would have had to put these in, take my templates off, which I did, lock the table down, lift the table up, get my second forklift, which is not broke down right now, lift it off, put it on an A-frame over there, take the forklift, go get the blue pearl piece, bring it in here, put it on, lower the table back down, lay it out, cut it, take the forklift, take the blue pearl back off, put it in a spot, take the forklift, come back in here, get the Fantasy Brown, pick it back up, put it back on here, lower it down, pull the pins back out, put the templates back on it and all that. So it takes some time. My other option, if you want to walk with me, right here was where the blue pearl remnant was sitting. You can see kind of the dust where it's been wiped down around it, here to here. So what we did, if you'll walk with me here, this cart right here, we unloaded it, had these 3 quartz tops on top of that cart. I had this sitting on it, and I had those 2 sitting on this. So first we took that cart over to here. Sammy and I unloaded that. Then we rolled the cart out there to where I just showed you this blue pearl is. I got my polisher David, and I got Gary, who was in the office, to come out there and help us hold the cart and the stone. Actually, David and Gary took our clamps, grabbed this thing, Gary held the cart, and I held the top of the stone, and we rolled it and laid it over on top of this cart. I then took square and a straight edge, and I laid it out to the actual sides. Then I took these, I don't know what these are called, but I took those, got some clamps, clamped it to it, and now I'm going to get a grinder ready, and I'm going to cut it by hand so that David can repolish it. So, to the unknowing person, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's just a little piece, 26.5 inches long by 5/16 wide, you know, just recut you a small piece. Yeah, but they don't see the freaking 30 minutes either which way I go to even set it up to cut it. Then I've got, it's blue pearl. David's going to polish it by hand. I mean, it's not a huge piece, but I mean, you're looking at least 20 minutes. You got to cut, you know, polish it by hand. And the other piece that went with this pickup that I also polished last night was this piece here. So I'm so used to Sammy cutting and marking my stuff, I just assume it's right. Had I known Rodney was the one cutting it by himself, I would have double checked it, but I polished this last night, made it look good, and then when I was double checking it with that one this morning, I realized that this is 36 and 3/8 heavy. This is 36 and 5/16. He had marked the big end to be polished and the small end, or I'm sorry, he had made the small end to be polished and the big end to go into the wall, which is opposite of what it was supposed to be. I had a jacked up tape measure earlier, guys, so bear with me on my measurements and stuff. So anyways, the polish is wasted on this side. We had to repolish it on this side. I'm gonna have to remeasure this and look at it here in a second with a good tape measure when I'm not on film. But anyway, the whole point is, it's a lot of time wasted because somebody didn't cut right. And the sad part about it is I personally went back there and laid it out on the freaking top for him. So he just didn't cut to the correct side of the line, or he just didn't line the laser up properly on the line when he cut it. This was at a heavy slant. That one there, it did have to be slanted a little bit, and there was no template, so it was a little difficult for them to lay out. But that's why it's so hard to find good help, guys. You know, you want to bring people in and give them an opportunity, and sometimes it works out. David's awesome, man. I'm going to do a video on him pretty soon. You seen him when I was training him to polish backsplash when he got here. And I'm going to do a video on showing everything he can do now. He can drop sinks, polish radiuses, all that. But you get somebody like the other guy, Rodney, I brought in here, and you know, I'd have done just as good to put that money outside and set it on fire. You know, because for 3 weeks I paid him to stand back there and watch Sammy cut on the saw, or to go with us and watch us install, hoping that he would pick up the trade and eventually help us make money. You know, in the beginning, a new hire is an investment. You're investing in their training so that eventually they can help make the company money and save you some labor. But you know, when they leave after a few weeks, that money's just wasted. And if they didn't leave, and then their product that they turn out is like this, you're going to send them packing anyway. And I don't know, it's just, I hear it from all the trades, it's so hard to find good help. And in here, when you bring people in, also, they're like, you know, why is it such a big deal? It's just an 1/8 inch or something. Well, in this business, an 1/8 inch can cost you thousands of dollars. You know, this is a business of perfection. Everything's got to be perfect. That's why I don't rush anybody. That's why I let people take their time and do it right. I would rather them take all day to do something if at the end of the day it's correct, rather than do 10 things that day and at the end of the day every one of them's wrong and somebody has to go back and take 2 or 3 times the amount of time and energy to do it correctly. So I just wanted to show, and people that are in the industry know, but I guess for new people coming in, or maybe owners that are in the office and don't really know what's going on out in their fab shop, this is the reason why such a small thing takes such an enormous amount of time, because there's so many obstacles you have to overcome to get it back correct. But guys, I really appreciate you watching. I really appreciate all your comments. I'm doing my best to answer them now that Gary showed me how to do that. I'm not a computer guy. And I really appreciate the new subscribers and all that. We're going to be doing some giveaways here. It's just hard for Gary and I to get together and make the videos, and me to get the time to make the things for the giveaway. But I promise you, within this next month, I'm going to have a video up about a giveaway. So just keep watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.